Traders, how are we? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome back to Simply Forex. I hope you're all well. Hope you're having a good trading week. It's been about the news today, right? And we're going to take a look at how the news has impacted trades. I was actually in one of them, all right? So we'll take a look at that and how that impacted it. It was a good impact, so this is good. Also, guys, we'll take all of your questions for today, as many as we can. And yeah, we'll take a look at the news coming out later today as well, right? It's one of them trading days where you have to sit on your little hands. You might have big hands, I don't know, but because it's just news, right? Now, this was my pound Swiss franc trade, right, that I managed to just sort of let rip. Okay, so yeah, this was basically Swiss franc. So, you know, let's take a look at all of what's happened, right? So if you pick any Aussie dollar pair, right, we've had this massive push up, right? We've seen Aussie dollar strength in the markets today, right? And if we go to the economic calendar, that is this good, better than expected employment news, right? So we've seen Aussie dollar strength in the markets. And look at this, guys. This doesn't happen that often, right? We had a miss on expectations. So the previous interest rate of Switzerland was 1%. Then they forecasted that they would drop it by 25 basis points to 0.75. And they actually dropped it by 0.5 basis points, right? So that has led to massive Swiss franc weakness, as you would expect, right? Because, you know, generally speaking, guys, you know, if the interest rate increases, then that gives more value to the currency. If it decreases, the currency is worth less, generally speaking, right? And that's exactly what's happened here. So if we go back to the charts, I was actually in a pound Swiss franc trade for 20% of my remaining trade. And just look at that, right? Look at that move, right? We had a huge spike up on the back of that news, you know, and basically it's come up and hit these last, let's have a look at the daily chart. It's come back up and hit these last daily highs up here, literally to the pip. So if people says support and resistance doesn't work, then don't listen to them, right? Look, it's literally touched it to the pip, and then we've had this huge reaction the other way. So I managed to close the 20% of my remaining trade up here. But I couldn't get in on the trade, right? This was also a trade idea for today, pound Swiss franc, right? And it was retracing into a really nice area, okay? But you have to wait for that news to come out. As much as it did this, right, the Swiss franc could quite easily do that, you know, and wipe your stop loss out, right? So yeah, it's just been about news, guys. And then later on, if we haven't had enough news already, we have got the ECB interest rate decision. All right, so they're looking to drop it by 25 basis points. It'll be interesting to see what this figure is. But usually, right, the central banks, you know, the forecast and the actual result are normally the same, right? So yeah, we'll take a look at that later. And we've got, you know, more important, you know, core PPI and employment data for the US as well. So it's just news, right? I don't like a news day because it's very difficult to trade. It creates very difficult trading conditions. Markets fly in any direction. So yeah, I'm, you know, not in a trade today. I managed to close out, like I say, the remaining 20% of this trade up here. But that's been about it, guys. So there you go. Right, let's see who is in the house. This is where I get a bit gangster. We've also got a what are they called? I can't remember what they're called. My mind has gone blank. Right, Himanshu, what do you suggest about pound Canadian dollar? Okay, good, Himanshu, because I know Ravi also wanted to look at pound Canadian dollar. So we'll definitely take a look at that, guys. BGP, hello, Tom. Hope all goes well with the stream today. Yes, BGP. The other day there was no sound, but let me just say that was a YouTube issue. We got to the bottom of it and it was YouTube wide. There was no sound. So that was, instead of trading with Tom, that was meditation with Tom, right? We just sat there in silence. So there you go. Noor, how are you? Noor, how's the boat? You know, I've got to ask. Hope you're well. Ace Foo. Okay, like the name. Mine, I think Foo Fighters. I love the Foo Fighters. So, Ravi, Himanshu, this one's for you. Let's take a look at pound Canadian dollar. Where are you? Right. Now, with pound Canadian dollar, right, I really, 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 really like this level for resistance. Right? Why do I like it so much? Well, firstly, look at this trend line that's been going on, you know, for 12 years. So there's this trend line, and trend lines also act as resistance, right? So this right here is resistance on the trend line. There is also this level through here, right? And this is horizontal resistance. So at this point right here, we have double whammy resistance. That's what it's called in all the top economic books, double whammy resistance. Yeah, check it out. So, you know, and right, and we're in a weekly downtrend, right? So there is so many things to like about this zone for selling, right? And I really do. Okay. A couple of things that go against our sell trade so far, right, is this weekly candle, right? It couldn't be any more bullish, right? Look at these buyers, buyers, buyers. There was a bit of, you know, Trump opening his mouth about the Canadian dollar tariffs, right? That led to Canadian dollar weakness a bit as well, right? But it's got it back up to this level. So really like this level, guys, a lot. If we look at the day chart, now, obviously, the day chart is also going to be in an uptrend. If you have weekly candles that look like that, right, you are going to be in an uptrend, right? And this is where we find ourselves, right? We are at that high we're talking about. Now, so far, we've had a bearish reaction, but look at the bottom wick, right? So I wouldn't say sellers are in total control as of yet, right? So what do I need to start selling this, right? So, because obviously I don't want to buy it. I do not want to buy into this resistance, right? That's what crazy people do. Don't be crazy, right? Be crazy at weekends, not when you're trading. So we know this is a level. What am I looking for now to sell? So one of two things. Firstly, right, we get something like this. Price just sort of hovers at this level, right? Consolidates. And then we get a break of structure, right? We can start selling in here. Okay, so that'd be the first scenario I would like to see. Okay. That would be a breakdown of daily structure at a key weekly level. Love those, right? Love those more than I love Mo Salah. And I do love that man. And I hope he signs a new contract at Liverpool. And I've got something in my eye all of a sudden. So, yeah, that's what I would like to see. Or, right, on the weekly chart, this weekly candle finishes pretty bearish, right? Let's say it finishes something like this, right? And we get a weekly candle. That still wouldn't constitute a daily break, right? I assure you, because we've literally just got a couple of days left, right? If we get a big weekly candle like this, I would also consider selling. Okay, so they're the two scenarios I would like to see for selling pound Canadian dollar. Now, there is a third scenario, and it is a lot more aggressive, right? And basically, when I talk about aggressive, right? I'm talking about the time frame. So the lower the time frame and the structure break, I would say the more aggressive the entry and trade is, right? So if you think about the day chart, right, we could be waiting, days, weeks, right, for this to happen, right? And I would say that's far less aggressive, and you're waiting for a daily break, right? And we can start selling. But if you wanted to be more aggressive, you could trade a H4 break, right? And for me, right, it would be about this level, right? There's a level through here, right? I mean, if you look at H4 structure, there is this low here, right? But for me, that hasn't broken because this wick closes back inside, right? And it hasn't quite broken yet. This H4 structure isn't completely clear as yet, but it's looking pretty, looking like it's going to drop to the downside, right? We're getting lower highs, and this level is barely holding, right? We're getting all of these bearish wicks now. But we could trade it like this. Let's say we get a nice big bearish H4 candle that breaks through this level, right? And then we could start selling here as well. Perhaps wait for a retrace into here, stop above here, and then look to take pound Canadian dollar lower. All right, so yeah, I like sells on pound Canadian dollar at that level. We just need to see the market show us that it's ready, right? You need to wait for that market to say, okay, buyers have given up. Buyers don't want any more of this market. Sellers are in control. And I don't see that yet. All right, so that's what I would wait for pound CAD. Hope that helps. And guys, please don't forget, if you enjoy my analysis, then please come join our channel. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Also, please smash the like button, guys. Yeah, it really helps support the channel. If you haven't already, also come join our trading community, right? We've got a free Discord channel where you can talk to other traders, share knowledge, ideas. So please come join our free Discord, right? It's beautiful. Also, guys, I've had a couple of spaces open up on my mentorship program. So this is where I coach you one-on-one. And if anyone's interested in that, then please email us and ask about the mentorship program. And finally, today's vid is brought to you above my head, Blueberry Funded, guys. If you want to increase your capital and trade a funded account, then look no further, because we are giving you 25% off any funded challenge with Blueberry Funded. Just use the code above my head, simply 25 at checkout. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Right, who else have we got in the house? Jean-Marc, hi from Hong Kong. I've been to Hong Kong. I like Hong Kong. Can we check silver? Yes, we can. Let's go straight there. Let's take a look. Oh, silver. Ha. I have to do my silver impression. So silver is between a rock and a hard place. Okay. This has been previous support and resistance, and it's also proving to be resistance, right? So just wanted to zoom out to show you that level. And now if we zoom in, we also have this level as good support, right? So we've got a support level and a resistance level. And what does that mean? That means choppy price action. It means a range, right? If I drop down to the H4, you'll clearly see it, right? We've just, you know, look at this, just choppy price action, right? Market's not sure. Okay, we've got from here to here. So for me, there's no trade for silver right now. Okay, a couple of days ago, or even yesterday, actually, I did suggest we could trade from here back up to this level, but price isn't going any further, right? So what do we need to see? So we need to see the market basically doesn't respect one of these levels anymore, right? So if price breaks free of this consolidation and we get a nice bullish candle break to the upside, then silver is saying, Tom, you can buy me. And I say, thank you, silver. That's very generous. Or if price ends up, right, doing this and then breaking down and we get a big bearish candle, it's also telling me you can sell me down to the next support level. So silver is wait and see, right? We're really in this level. I want to see a break one way or the other. We've got some US news later, right? We have, so that might be a deciding factor. But if the news is all as expected, you know, we can probably expect this to just range a little bit. All right, but we just need to see a break, Jean-Marc, one way or the other. I never want to be in consolidation. When the market is consolidated, you can just get chopped to pieces, right? It's just ranging. Okay, we don't want to be in that. We want to be out of the consolidation one way or the other, and then we jump on we jump on the buy boat or the sell boat and sail away happily ever after. Nor that was a reference to the boat again. So yeah, there you go, Jean-Marc. It's between a rock and a hard place at the moment. Right, what else are we looking at? BGP, you were not the only one. Other live streams were silent as well. Yeah, BGP, it was YouTube wide, right? There was silence across YouTube. A very peaceful day in the YouTube community. Right, BGP wants to look at Aussie dollar yen. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Nor, boat is going good. Glad to hear it, Nor. Save me a seat. Don't forget me. Cedric, afternoon. How are you? Okay, and we've got some more questions coming in as well. Right. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, all right? Because the yen pairs have been tricky little sausages, right? So let's take a look. Let me have a glass of water, not a whole glass, just a mouthful, don't worry. But yeah, while I take a slurp, if you could please smash the like button. I have a throat like razor blades. I keep catching things off my daughter. It's always her fault, or the editors. Right, guys, Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Let's take a look. So, very significant level, right? I'm gonna freshen up these levels, right? I'm gonna do some spring cleaning in front of you, right? Because the level that's become apparent now is this, right? That's the level. You can see price reacting. Also, guys, I just had loads of dates. I've forgotten how much of a lovely sweet treat dates are, yet have some good health qualities. Just thought I'd share that. Not only do we do trading, we do food and health advice. You're welcome. Right, Aussie dollar yen. Let's do a top-down approach before we even look at this day chart. Now, the weekly chart, right, would suggest, right, this is that consolidation. Imagine being in there. Imagine being in there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, just getting chopped to pieces, right? Consolidation, crappy. We don't want to be in that. Right, but then price drops like a stone, right? We saw that yen strength. So this to me is telling me that the weekly chart is in a downtrend, right? It broke all of these lows, right? And now we have lower lows. And obviously, you can't look at this candle. Well, you can, you've got eyes, but you shouldn't look at this candle because it hasn't finished forming yet, right? So I'm going to try and color it in yellow so you can't see it. Yeah, there you go. Disappeared. You can barely see that now, right? So all we got to go on is this candle and this candle. And that is telling us to sell back down to these lows, right? It is. And then if we drop to the day chart now, so weekly is a sell, right? Nothing's changed on the weekly, right? If we go to the day chart, if this level holds, this too is a sell, right? This is all that consolidation I was talking about. Bang, bang. This is where we're at, right? We're in a downtrend and we're at a key level of resistance. So depending on how this daily candle finishes, obviously this hasn't finished forming yet either. But if it finishes something like this with a bit of a top wick, I would consider this a good selling opportunity. Back down to 96, right? If not, all the way down to 94.5. Okay, so weekly and daily, as it stands, right? We've got to be careful this daily candle hasn't finished, is telling me I can sell Aussie dollar yen, right? Simple as that. Now, what are we waiting for? So we are waiting for sellers to tell us that they are in control, right? You know, I know this may sound obvious, and I'm not teaching you how to suck eggs, but you have to wait for sellers to take control of the market, right? If you want to sell the market. And if you look at this structure, right, on the H4, right, are sellers in control? Right? The answer is no, right? We're in a H4 uptrend. I know we're getting a bearish reaction as we speak, but, you know, things are still pretty bullish, right? This candle even broke that high, but we're at resistance, right? So H4 is not telling me to sell it, but again, we can go down a time frame and be a little bit more aggressive with our entry because we like that level so much, right? Now, let's drop down to the H1. Okay, has that, I'm going to say no. There is a, why was I going, oh, right? don't know why. Because this level here, right? Can I constitute that as a structure break? Maybe, right? But it's not that clear. So I'm going to suggest this is where we're at. And also, guys, I like to see breaks below the moving average 20, right? And as you can see, we're at the moving average 20. So at the very least, for me to start selling Aussie dollar yen, and I do like the level, is for price again, just to, it will normally consolidate a little, right? Just, you know, this is a really good point, actually, right? If I do say so myself, I haven't even told you the point yet, but it's a very good point. And the point is, you can't really expect price to just react super aggressively at a support or resistance level, right? Because the market, right? This is the daily downtrend, right? For example, right? Now, if we want price to retrace to here, this is the day chart, then naturally, on the lower time frames, H4 or H1, we are going to have a lower time frame uptrend, but the overriding trend is down, right? That will generally happen all the time if you're looking for a retrace. Okay, and that is exactly what's happening here, right? We're in a daily downtrend, but H1 is in this uptrend. So you have to consider there are millions of traders trading the H1. And they're like, right, this is at the moving average 20. I might buy this back up to these highs. right? Then you've got all the daily traders at this level saying, we know this is a good resistance level. We're going to push this down, right? And you've still got the H1 traders going, okay, maybe we've got one last push, right? You know, and then eventually daily traders should win out, right? There'll be more of them. And then eventually we end up getting something like this. And we finally get that structure break in here, right? We start dropping below the moving average 20. We get the structure break. And that is what normally happens, right? So don't expect things to happen like that with your trade, right? It takes time for, or not for your trade, but for you to enter the trade, right? Take the time for the market to tell you that it's stopped, you know, it's slowing down, it's breaking down. And we only get that with a break of structure, right? At the very least on the H1. And when we get that, buyers are like, sod this, I'm out, and sellers can carry on their merry way. All right, so that's what I'm waiting for Aussie dollar Japanese yen. So BGP, I hope that helps. Okay, so this sort of plays into BGP's question. So does the price have to consolidate the majority of the time before it chooses a specific direction, right? Can there be a continuation right away? So what I've just explained answers that question, right? Because when you hit a support and resistance level, you've always got two conflicting powers. It's the same with pound Canadian dollar, guys, right? Yeah, if we go to the day chart, right? The day chart is saying, right, we are super bullish. Let's keep buying, right? That's what it's telling us. And then we go to the weekly chart. The weekly chart is saying we are at huge resistance, right? So, you know, on any time frame, it could be weekly versus daily. It could be daily versus H4, daily versus H1, weekly versus monthly. Because you have the daily buying force and you have the weekly resistance force, you've got two forces acting upon each other. Hence, you get consolidation, right? And then eventually one of these forces has to win. Price has to go somewhere. It's not going to consolidate for the rest of eternity, right? And then if sellers win, we join the sellers. If buyers win, we buy. But what we don't do is predict direction before that, right? Let the market tell you when it's ready, right? Don't do this, right? You're at a resistance level. You're like, right, I'm selling. That's it. I'm selling. I'm in. It's at a good resistance level. Let's do it, right? And then price does this, comes up, knocks you out, does this for a bit. And you're like, oh, why didn't it move straight away? It was at a nice resistance level. Because you have more than one force acting on the charts, right? You always have buyers and sellers acting on the chart, right? Always. So look at this section, for example, right? At this point, you have not one seller in sight. Sellers are like, sod this, that is crazy bullish. Buyers are in complete control. I'm not interested. You can see sellers try to get a little bit involved here. Look at those top wicks. And buyers just steamrolled them. Okay. And why is that? Because that is going from one support resistance level to another support and resistance level, right? You will find that. Okay. So really important to understand that. But when it gets to support and resistance levels, expect some consolidation, right? In between those levels, this is where we want to be, right? These are the places we want to be to trade. right? So basically, guys, you want to trade from here to here. You want to trade from here to here. You want to trade from here to here. These are the zones you want to be trading in. All right. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question, BGP. And, you know, this is the opportunities you should be looking for, guys. All right. Right, what else have we got here? Michael, good afternoon, Michael. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Hope the farm is all going well. I might have to come and visit one day and do a bit of sheep shaving. I reckon I'll be good at that. Right, what else are we looking at? Ravi, thanks, Tom. That was awesome. The moral seems to be, depending on your trading style, look for a break of structure on a suitable time frame. Yes, Ravi. So let me just rephrase that. Not rephrase it. Let me tell you Ravi's sentence again. So the moral seems to be, depending on your trading style, look for a break of structure on a suitable time frame. So yes, I would agree with that. But what does a break of structure mean? So overriding that is you need to see, if you want to sell the market, you need to see sellers in complete control, right? And that normally constitutes a structure break. I'm doing lots with my hands today. This is for, you know, the sign language. And if you're buying the market, right, you want to see sellers give up. And that would normally constitute a break of structure, or I would also include a break of a resistance level, right? This one, for example, right? Pound Canadian dollar, right? We're at this level, right? We've got sellers, buyers, some sellers. There was some consolidation, right? But we was always in an uptrend. And then when we got this candle that kind of broke that consolidation, look at the move. So it's just asking yourself, who is in control of this market? If buyers are in control, I want to buy. If sellers are in control, I want to sell, right? Okay, what else we got here? Okay, we've got another question here, guys. Let's keep going with them. They're good questions. Would the market readiness be indicated by a weak candle or multiple resistance touches? Right, so again, are buyers or sellers in control, right? Let's find right, like here, right? Now this move is quite quick, right? And I'll tell you why this move is quite quick, right? But let's go back to this point in time. This is the daily chart, right? And we know this is a nice resistance level, right, on its own. Okay, so when price gets down to here, you know, we're interested in buys. And if we look at the weekly chart, right, the weekly chart is in an uptrend. So the weekly chart's in an uptrend. We've got back down to this trend line, right? Now, it's not always going to consolidate, right? But there will still be some consolidation here, and I'll show you on a higher time frame. But just that we've got sellers, sellers, sellers. But just looking at this candle, sellers have slowed down, right? It might just be a couple of days of consolidation, right? Sellers have slowed down. And then buyers are in with a vengeance, right? Now let's take a look at the H4 and see how that looks on the lower time frame, right? But for me, the only level we can look at is this last H4 high. Okay, really, that's the only point that we can see that needs breaking, right? And that's where we're at. We've also got the moving average 20, right? So no matter how bullish that daily candle is, right, which it is or it was, right, I don't want to start buying this. I want to see a break of this level. Okay, So let's play along this H4, right? Let's just play this along. Right, you can see it respects that level a little bit. You know, you've got to bear in mind this is 8 hours. Okay, but that right there constitutes a structure break for me. And I would be interested in buying that. Buy here, put your stop here. I would probably build the trade, right? Enter your first, you know, 0.5% risk here, right? If it moves against you, put another 0.5% risk here, because this is going to be a large stop loss, right? About 130 pips. And then I would be looking to take it, just looking briefly at this chart, back up to the next area of resistance. I can see a resistance level here. This would probably be my target. As long as I'm getting 1:1, I would take this trade, right? So let's see if this H4 structure holds and how the market reacts to that break. Right, okay. And then the market kind of starts showing you new levels, right? So we've kind of got these couple of levels in here now, right? So these become of interest, right? You could potentially move your stop loss up to here, right? This is move your stop loss up to here, heavily reduce your risk, right? And even add to the position. But I would only add to the position once we get a clean break of this level, because that level is holding, right? So let's play this along. And there you go, right? We've got that break of that level, right? So now your initial buy was here, your initial stop loss was here. We can move that stop loss up, be a bit more tighter in here. We've heavily reduced risk, right? So if this was 1%, right, we've now reduced risk to, let's say, roughly 0.3%. Right? So in here, whatever the distance between here and here is, I can add a 0.7% trade, which I would do, right? And we carry on taking price up, right? Let's do that. And guys, if you want to know how to build trades like this, then please come join our VIP Trading Academy. I've got numerous tutorials on building trades and building positions just like this. All right, so come check it out, guys. All right, and then so we've hit that first kind of level we were talking about here, right? And we're starting to see a little bit of resistance. So I would close 80% of my trade here, right, and then close the remaining 20% at this 7,000 level. Okay, this is arguably presenting us with an opportunity here to get into the trade again. I would maybe wait for a bit more of a retrace because I want to hide behind this low perhaps, right? If we don't get that retrace, I'll just carry on with my 20%. Right, there you go. So this is chosen to be the level, right? So you could, right, add to this position, start buying here, move your stop loss up again into here, add to the position. If you still like the daily chart, of course, with a view to taking it up to here. Looking good, right? There you go, bang. All right, and that is how to maximize a trade and build a trade, guys, from here. Okay, so yeah, like I say, guys, come join the VIP, right? It's only a small amount of money each month, right? There's so much, yeah, there's so many, you know, tutorials and strategies and things you can use in your trading, guys. So come join it. And there you go, guys. So that is what I would look for, how I build a trade, how I trade, pretty much, guys. All right, so let's come out of here now and go back to real time. Right, what else have we got here? So we've got people wanting to look at euro, US dollar. Marvin, you're very welcome from the Philippines. Salamat, I know, thank you. I know Siggy means okay. And that is about it. And I love Sinigang. I love Sinigang, such a good dish. I love the Philippines. I've been a few times. And Nabi, hello from Iran. Hello, Nabi, how are you? Never been to Iran. I would like to go. Never been. I always want to go to places I haven't been, right? So give me an invite, Nabi. Luigi, afternoon. T-Rex, named after the famous 70s musician or the dinosaur? T-Rex, please let us know. Wants to look at US dollar yen. Right, so let's have a... Oh, guys, I've just realized the time, right? Guys, right, loads of great questions here. So please keep all of these questions for next week, okay? And please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Also, guys, don't forget, if you're looking for a funded challenge, we've got 25% off right now with Blueberry Funded. Use the code above my head. And yeah, live streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 a.m. New York EST time. Loving the questions today, guys, right? We can really get into the nitty gritty of trading. So keep these questions coming. Keep these questions in your head for next week, guys, and we will go through them all. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great trading day, and I'll see you soon.